Hello, Cohort 5. It is my pleasure to present to you the findings of my student case study, Anna. Anna is a very tall, athletically built, grade 8 multilingual learner, Mandarin speaking female from China. She stands out from other students and is even taller than most males in her grade. I noticed her sullen facial expressions, isolation in class, and lack of interaction during my first week as an EAL, English for Additional Languages, teaching assistant in grade 8. I knew that she was the student for my case study. I had a conversation with her and I thought we were building a rapport. She is self conscious about her English proficiency. I asked if she had any friends that could speak to her in Mandarin, and she said that she didn't have any friends and they don't want to talk to her. I was happy that she felt comfortable enough to speak with me, but now I get an aloof glance and no greeting. I sent an email to the counselor to inquire about her, and I wanted to know what we could do for her. I know that if you are in emotional distress, you will not do well in school. I asked if she could speak with a Mandarin translator or counselor, and the feedback was, yeah, she has issues. So I attended a kid talk, and I want to ask more questions to follow up and advocate for her. But frankly, I was shocked by the nonchalant attitude of the counselor. My feelings are is that as an international school with students of many languages, we need to have resources to assist them, and we probably, ISM, the International School Manila, could probably do a better job of supporting students with mental health issues. And that may include screening students and collecting more data about the mental health of all students at the school. Here is the portrait of Anna. Again, she's Chinese. She started at International School Manila last year. She lives with her aunt. It was her idea to come to ISM to learn English. Her interests include anime and a variety of sports, to include basketball and volleyball. However, I'm not aware of her being involved in any sports activities or any after school events. To focus on her abilities and what she can do academically, here we see her WIDA English proficiency scores. Her total score is a 4.4, so she's an emerging English language learner. Her reading score, however, is a 6, which is quite high compared to her interpretive and expressive scores. Her skills, speaking and writing, though, improved over the course of her first year. She's expressing herself verbally by stating her opinions and ideas and asking questions. She's also able to write paragraphs with some details and transition words. Here's Anna's map testing scores from this past September: 19% in math and 34% in reading. And I noticed the discrepancy between her WIDA English language English English language proficiency score and her map reading score. And I was told by her English for academic purposes teacher that the WIDA test is just less difficult than the map test. Also, Anna may have been discouraged by the challenge of the map comprehension questions. So Anna seems to have no friends, low self-esteem, body issues, and body image issues. For example, she was cutting herself and now she's not eating lunch. She seeks connections with her teachers instead of her peers. And additionally, she has difficulty starting a task. And it may be that she needs additional processing time to get started, to gain confidence. But most of the time, she has a sad expression on her face, and even her emoji on Google Classroom says crying inside. In my opinion, she seems to be screaming for someone to pay attention to her. So, what interventions have taken place so far? Well, there have been kid talks. This is a time where teachers bring up students that they are concerned about. And here are some of the notes from that particular meeting, which includes that she was developing a friendship, but that person moved away, that she was sick and out of school for a week, and it would be great that she would formulate friendships with other individuals like her peers instead of just the teachers. Here on this graphic, I outlined how the middle school principal and grade 8 counselor are checking in with her regularly. They've attempted to establish and engage her with a few buddy programs, and they've had conversations with her father. Most recently, Anna requested a schedule change to include some classes and to be removed from other classes where another student was present. Additionally, she requested that a TA be present in most of her classes, and that request was honored also. Now, what are the next steps? I emailed the counselor and attempted to set up a meeting to ask a series of questions, which were also included in that email. He said he would meet with me later, but he was concerned about confidentiality and wanted to see a copy of this case study assignment. And I still have not heard back from that counselor. So these are my recommendation. First and foremost, I think she needs some sort of psychological or psychiatric evaluation if she hasn't been referred to one already. Some other recommendations include strategies to help her build her self confidence and self esteem, and to encourage her perhaps to participate in a sports activity since that is one of her interests. My favorite resource for interventions with certain behaviors is the Positive Behavior Intervention Strategies World Book website, and I linked it in my presentation. So here are the 15 questions that I sent to the counselor. I'll give you a moment to review those. My big concern are the resources that the school has. And I wanted to know if she was possibly being bullied. Did she start self harming behaviors before she came to ISM? Here, I've included some resources for collecting data. My final thoughts and questions. This slide is a summary of my presentation, and I'll give you a moment to read them here. I have included a work sample. It's a poem from her English class. She wrote a poem about herself with a scaffold. She required several days of pushing and prodding, even with the scaffold, to produce this work. However, it's a very nice poem. This was the scaffold that we provided our multilingual learners. We adapted it from the George Ella Lyons poem, Where I'm From. It's a chunked version of the original poem, and the parts of speech were included, words to be translated, and a space to put the students' personal responses, and then they could take that and write their own poem. Thank you so much. This concludes my presentation. I look forward to answering your questions and listening to your suggestions.